Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to play a different kind of game. I know it's a little shorter. It's called The Beginner's Guide. Uh, this I don't know terribly much about. I just know it's good and it's kind of an interactive experience. And what is happening? Yeah. Sorry. All right. So let's go into the options first. Closed captioning, full captions. And I know not audio, video. Sure. Apply. Fine. All right. So I know that this game is supposed to be sad, but I know it's relatively short. I felt like doing something a little different today. I don't want to get sucked into a super long game because I know I'm starting a little late. I had to do some stuff after work to get some stuff fixed and pain in the butt, but otherwise it was fine. So without further ado, I guess we should begin the game. That is bright. That is really bright. Please make sure audio is on. Controls. Okay. You could have done this in night mode. Like, really could have did this in night mode.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable.
Oh,
and
yeah.
While that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
His work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make.
Okay.
So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
All right.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
Okay.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes
the guns?
Calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head?
Like assets weren't loaded in.
This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is.
It's kind of like writing
and that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008. Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet. He just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder.
Ouch.
So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
He stopped making games?
2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
Why?
And that's why
what did you do to him?
Opportunity to gather all of his work together is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
Oh, well, that's nice
of him. If people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
I didn't realize how much shocking there'd be in this game. But it's interesting because, like, there's the whole understanding the brain that created things. Like, I'm a big fan of Nobuo Uematsu, and I wish that more people like knew more about him. I don't know much about him because I've never really done research into him myself, but like, or like Kentaro Miura, who did Berserk, for example. Funny enough, I want to know where his headspace was when he was creating something. It's kind of an interesting concept. Whoa, guns! Whisper machine status active. Evacuate immediately. Oh fuck!
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna shoot everything. I am out of ammo. Destruction. This is action-y.
Security call reached. Hostile alien life form.
I'm out of ammo!
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Okay.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
Oh,
you can't
okay.
even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Okay, damn it.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think
an
that
interesting
we should
concept.
talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
That's interesting if you think about it. Space? Because, like, everyone's always so quick to talk
I
about...
love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
That's kind of cool. People want to talk about things that they aren't versus what they are. And I'm guilty of it, too. I mean, when we finished Prince of Persia 3, or The Two Thrones, I kind of went on a rant about what it wasn't. And this is an
Apparently,
interesting...
the space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
But I want to... Mr. Stanley Parable
If
Man.
you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
That's damn right I want to solve it. Actually, I don't. It's fine. I don't know. I kind of wanted to do something different tonight, and this isn't necessarily
Okay,
big
this is
thing,
the
you
part
know?
that's interesting.
Uh-huh.
The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how
Yeah,
it
and
has
it's
to be
being
turned
active.
off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. Is this the Whisper Machine? I want to know what the Whisper Machine is.
You there, in the engine room. You could save us all.
Okay.
That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Interesting.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Gladly. For humanity!
Let me pause here for a second.
Okay,
What
fine.
you just
Go ahead, pause.
experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying,
Uh-huh.
is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. So you fixed it. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great bug,
The beam
though.
causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him.
Uh-huh.
Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs.
I like that.
So
That's an
he
interesting
stops work on
twist.
this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
This looked like a lot of fun. This kind of makes me want to get into like figuring out how Unity would work. The past was behind her. But that's in front of me.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Okay, that's cool. And a very interesting concept. That's neat. You can only walk backwards to go forwards.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Yeah, I would have played this. This looks like a lot of fun. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
I like that.
Which
That's actually kind of cool.
Is why it works, because it gets out quick.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
That's actually super fucking cool. Oh no, I don't like this. Dark and demony. We're now entering. Is this a secret horror game?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Now entering what? Darkness? Darkness!
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead.
I can relate to that, actually.
And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
I'm kind of the same way. I don't really talk about things that I've... Like, I mean, I talk about things I've done in the past, but I don't continually talk about
Once you've been
them.
slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay, so I pushed enter. This is a neat experience. I mean, it's a hell of a time. And it's an empty. Swinging over for hours. Post just got to push on a game. It's going to be a game where you collect items, except the game automatically clicks to collect them all. A game only motivational quotes
that's
played.
Warm and nice.
You must address and rally a group of eager protesters. A stranger
appears.
The play is loud body sound, walking around, people. You start in small until you realize you can just walk through the walls. The game is something that
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
This pair of floating eyes emitting footstep noises. Series of lavish manuals come with the game, giving you incorrect expressions. Like, you are a gate. Oh, damn it! I was reading. That's cool. So it's kind of like a mind palace. Like he had ready, set, finish. Is that what that was? This is very Half-Life-y. It feels like the mouse sensitivity is definitely changing around a lot.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
Ooh.
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Just E to open? Okay. Darkness! Can you solve it? This room is just mist. I get it. You have to shut the door behind you and open the door in front of you. I'm smart!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
Okay. So he has, like, a motif. Like a motif in music. Like, for example, the video game album I was showing off. The one that I've been, like, the one that I was writing with my bandmate, but more so I was writing in my free time before it became the idea of Broccoli Bomber Studios, is that, like, I had, like, a little motif where it was just this 4-note sequence, and it's almost like a calling card in that particular project. Whereas if this puzzle is something that Coda really was fascinated by.
You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get.
You know what I mean? That's interesting.
All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why would I want to do that? It's like a fucking Windows screensaver puzzle.
How about that? There's
so much to this.
I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea.
Kinda.
So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
That's cool.
Either way, I think that the point is the same. Is that most of the time, you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player.
True.
So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
I mean... our role isn't to understand. It's... There's just an interesting thing.
So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. Okay. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have,
like a concept album,
back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. The Great and Lovely Descent. This is interesting. It kind of shows a lot to... It doesn't... You don't need to create in order to share. Sometimes it's just cathartic. And sometimes this kind of thing is just not meant for other people. You know what I mean? It's for you and you alone. You do it because you love it, not because you want money from it per se.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine,
like Unity,
which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
A streetwise fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Okay.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors.
Okay.
That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Big old toilet, gotta take a shit.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're gonna end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
It gives me a lot of Half-Life vibes, or older games of that generation. The Streetwise Fool. This looks like a cool place to be. You know what I mean? Kind of like the rug. It's neat. Oh, there's more stairs. Are these doors? Nope. Okay. Ah, the secrets. There is no door. There is no game. And all of a sudden I'm getting like Remember Me vibes from like artwork in Remember Me. This is cool. Can I take fall damage? We're about to find the fuck out! Well, okay. So this place is like a secret to another dimension? Is that... what he's trying to... There's glass here. It's a very distinct line. This looks like a... What was that? I'm still thinking this is fucking being a horror game. Oh, it was this. Okay. I don't like all the extra noises that are happening. They're kind of stressing me out. Ah! You fuck. An elevator. Let me out! Okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
What the fuck?
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
No, I want to be in here for an hour.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible?
Right.
And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games.
Okay.
That was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
Technically, it's playable.
Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Ugh. What a nightmare. That would suck. But it's an interesting concept to think about. Like, with, like, playing the opposite of something, like, just because a game is playable doesn't mean it needs to be anything. It gives me a Bo Burnham vibe of, there's the one part in one of Bo Burnham's specials with a song called God's Perspective, and I'm not gonna talk religion after talking about this. But the line that he says is something along the lines of, no one ever stops to think that God does believe in you, even though you're supposed to believe in him in a way. No one entertains the fact that God doesn't believe in you. That was the line. And it's an interesting sort of change of thought. It's like a paradigm shift, really, is what it is. And like I said, I'm not getting into talking about religion just because I talked about this one particular part of a song, but it's really neat to think about how, if you flip the perspective, it can really give you some insight. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Or it's giving me, like, resonating vibes to that effect. Ah, the puzzle.
Again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Okay. Yes.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I like the concept of the door because it means, to me, already I'm just formulating my opinion, is that you have to forget about what's behind you in order to go forward. I think that's what it symbolizes to me. Fireplace. You there? Did you come up from above?
Here, Coda
what was up
begins
there?
Using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities.
Okay.
Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. None of them are the beginning with the Streetwise Fool Cafe place. Prison! Do I have to use... Okay, this is neat. That's the world above. You've been there. No, this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through the puzzle. I prefer not to tell you. After all, we've only just met. 1. Why lie? Right? Why lie? Oh, I accidentally hit the wrong button. Or did I? You don't, but how did you get here? The puzzle is the only way. There are other ways in and out. I don't remember how I got here. Wait, yes, I did solve it. I am the champion of solving puzzles. Yes. Sorry, my 3 key also activates the demon voice. No, you can't. You weren't on the other side at all. You have no idea what is on the other side. You cannot help us escape this prison. You were not the one I need. Surely there will be someone else. That's sad. Okay, now what? Okay, bye. How'd you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to... Yes. Do you want to know how to solve it? No, we actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Actually, now that you remember, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. I remember the black space between the 2 doors. Don't think too hard about it. For me, maybe it's just the experiences that you're going to be in between. I don't know. The black space being... Because it was in the first puzzle, too. What does the black space symbolize? I feel like the black space is more important than the doors.
Down to the final floor of the level.
This is the final part of the level. The outside world! Oh, a street lamp. Oh, it's a... I can't go back!
It's a lamppost.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a...
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something.
Maybe that's his goal.
He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
Okay, so if it's at the... Yeah, it would make sense if it's at the end of every level.
His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Okay.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Will it? I mean, the only person that's going to know what Coda is thinking is probably Coda. We can only speculate. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All the notes you see are left by other players. Really? Interesting. Just a distinct lack of notes. Nice room. Not! What a dick.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. It's cooled off eventually.
It's definitely interesting. Like, if you think about it, because, like, it's breaking the norm. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hi, Spawn.
Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Everyone read this.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness.
This place makes me sad.
I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
It's balls. It's an expression. You know, it's an art
ironic,
form,
isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing.
I'm crying now.
I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection.
Yeah.
It felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
It's interesting, really. Why? You have too many messages in this area. Hey, I could type here. These are cool. Are we doing literally anything other than playing this? That's... no. The guy over there wrote much wrong. Okay. I mean, yeah, there's no special secret or achievement or anything, but, like, it's interesting because, like, I mean, really, if you think about it, this guy did just write all this on his own. You know what I mean? Like, what was his thought? Like, is this what he thinks, like, is this, like, his own head thing? Like, his own headspace? You know? It's interesting to think about. And also, Spawn, how you feeling today? What the shit is this cavern? Boring. I can assure you, guarantee that there is an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Big TV, no keyboard. No problem, Spike. I hope you're doing good, buddy. I hope your friend's doing good today, too. Hey, guys, just looking for someone to talk with. No. If these were all written by him, he must have felt lonely at one point, right? I refuse to believe. Butt-ass butt. We need to go to the freaking bathroom. I mean, this feels like... Spike got me up on that ultra-wide 4K, hell yeah. There's something really interesting about this, because, like, this... again, it kind of feels like the Mind Palace idea, where he had the rooms full of concepts for games and stuff. This kind of feels like just random individual thoughts, like in a random notebook. There's nothing here, go back. Hey, don't listen to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's just having fun. A free t-shirt. Need other side door, why you so? Makes game includes door, cannot open door, thanks. Open sesame. Door how open. Someday I will meet the person who made this. He wrote all of these. Oh, is this gonna be really sad? I remember seeing parts of Jacksepticeye play this a long fucking time ago, and I don't remember much about it. I didn't watch his whole video on it. I really hope that this isn't gonna be that sad. I'm on the 80-inch LG OLED. Hell yeah. I have a 65-inch Samsung in my living room. I help people because the integral good feeling I get. It's a self-gratifying process. It's okay to be selfish in that regard. New room! Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? And I'm glad he's resting. I would very much like to be desired. There's a sad point in that, too. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. Boy, do I understand that. It's not very crowded here. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. You can go in here, I think. Don't bother. Camera, leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. This is where I get off. Gross. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back, proceeding further will only result in misery. Take my hand, let's jump together. You can't jump. I mean, you can jump, but you can't jump. Cabbage shapes our nation. My cabbages! What is that painting? It's pretty cool, is what it is, damn. Does not matter if you ever get over there. Hey, don't talk about me that way. Very good game. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Is this a note? I feel like this guy is very lonely. Don't listen to the other notes. I'm going to listen to every single fucking one. I'm not safe. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Ethical. We're gonna go around. Saw a person walking down there, now it won't come back. Sad face. Devil Tower Star. This is interesting. Well done, all of you. Painting, what does it mean? I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but I am. Stop faking it. Art. Whoever made this has issues. That's fucked up, man. You're talking about yourself. Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. Help, I'm trying to speak. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. That's a cool concept. From up here, it just looks like dots. Cabbage shapes our nation again. Oh, I missed that one. Who are all of you? We will all die someday. Tell me about it. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Stop pretending you were... Stop pretending you're other people. Oh. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Hi, Miss Spike. I hope you are also doing well. Thank you for making me make peace. Devil Tower Star again. This is... I really like this concept. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Do you hate yourself? Maybe I'll feel real someday. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. What is this game? And what game is this and what's it about? His terrible secret, he kept it well. It's called The Beginner's Guide. It's by the guy who made the Stanley Parable, and apparently these are games that his one friend made between 2008 and 2011 when he knew him. I think it was 2008 and 2011. But he's going through these games as like a retrospective, like kind of making you like question things. It's really cool so far. Right now, I beat the game. Right now we are in a room that this guy designed that was apparently connected to the internet that had a bunch of notes in it, but the game actually wasn't connected to the internet at all. And the guy, his friend's name is Coda, and he wrote all of these notes pretending like they were other people. And it's kind of interesting to see these notes where he's saying negative things about himself in a way. Not all of them are, but you know what I mean. Like, more room? Did I just freeze?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means.
It's good at writing something.
Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter.
That's what I was thinking too.
Before moving on to the next one.
Right. What's the voices? The voices are kind of terrifying. Escape, need an escape. He cut it up and spread it between worlds. That's what she said. Almost there. I've seen everything. I've traveled the world. I have never told anyone. I wish there were notes in the real world. That's interesting. Become one with the spiraling nonsense. Okay. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle. that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Right. Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my god, I've been here for literally an hour. What the fuck do I do? Help! Help! This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers please.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces,
guys, it's not so bad in here.
Before you move on,
back to the
you
start.
get to pause.
That's right.
Just for a moment.
There's no second switch.
A few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
I think it is still an option. This is very symbolic. He's right. This room is a place to reflect. But the interesting thing about this puzzle is you have to flip the switch, open it, and as you are going through, you have to hit the switch again to close the door behind you. Which means that it's almost like he's done with this concept, because that's the only way you can open the second door. And there's only one note in here. Is this actually him? And his talking? How do you leave notes? I'm curious. Why typewriters? I get it. Are you there? Please say something. It can't be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulties talking? Speak, 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 speak. That now makes sense with the typewriters. Porn stars.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay, that's fine. Before we get any further, that last one is really interesting because it's typewriters. I get it now. The notes everywhere. They're all in one room and only one note was left in the hallway. Maybe, I don't know. I kind of like the idea that those were like, all those typewriters were him trying to speak out to the world, whatever, you know, as not as himself, but as anybody else. I don't know. It's interesting to think about, you know? Huh. So porn stars die too. Oh. Pretty skybox. You know what I mean? I like that. That's sweet. I like lights like that where they're just fucking weird and crazy. It's the same picture as before. A reflective texture on some wood. More steps. Do I push enter at all? Nope. Okay. Oh man, but yeah, this is
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
So this is the second version. It's missing all of its furniture. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? A refrigerator. That's not a refrigerator. Okay, now what should go along the wall of the... Let's put a huge picture of a horse. I think we should light this room up a bit. I'm just gonna go with 2. 10 by 12 recessed lighting electric. It's a lamp. Thanks. And a table. You need a table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Yeah, they're not. And he put a table. Whoa.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Your choices don't matter. I actually really like that.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
You're a prison of your own design. Is that what he's trying to get at there? Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Now go left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. This is neat. Return. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
That's cool. I like
a version
that.
Where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally,
Wow.
I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on?
What if it's
But
a self-reflection of
Coda
self?
doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something.
Ooh.
And he likes it. And that's
Ooh.
it. He's done. He stops making prisons.
Okay.
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Excuse me. So this is a version of the prison game without the prison. But there's a lamppost. So we have an objective. I feel like this is still a horror game. There's also a telephone? Is that looks like a payphone to me. What? Oh God. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the furniture maze. Yep, I was in the escape tutorial.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
Okay.
But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself.
That's where I'm right now. So glad to know that I get out
games
eventually.
so far
What's it
are
like to
Coda
escape?
talking to himself.
That is really sad. He just wants somebody that understands. Actually, I'm already forgetting what being in the prison was like. It's strange, but in a way I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. I'm just going to hit 1. I get the feeling my choices aren't going to matter here soon. Really? How long has it been since you got out? Years, like I've been standing right here working up the nerve to call you. Only a few minutes, but somehow it's already fuzzy, kind of like it never happened. I like to. Let's do that one. But this is the worst, most desperate thing I've ever been through. How could you possibly forget it? I promise you, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad right now as you think it is. You don't ever forget it. You just stop identifying with it. Anything can seem infinite when you're drenched in it. These are interesting. I like number 2. Still. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. We're going to go with 1. Then you can tell me how to get out. Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, all you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. Oh, this is sad. All of these answers are sad because he's right. He's just talking to himself. Like, it's like, this is like a desperate cry for help, but it never sees the light of day. All you have to do is be sincere? What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. We're going to go with the first one. That feels like the most sincere answer. Sincere about what? That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape. Ooh. Ooh. This is interesting.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It really would be. Just having nothing but faith in someone telling you that things would be okay.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
The door. But there's no lever. So this is the other side of that door? This is pretty.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay, I can see that. You can come in here, stay a while. Someone spilt a fucking pop! That's a person. Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't worry about me. A place this nice would be glad to stay here all night. Lousy homes make
notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games.
It is.
Including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on.
Yeah, this looks a lot different.
From here on out, he begins putting
and the music's
more
pretty.
effort into the visual polish of his work. And this
yeah.
particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Like a test drive of the new and improved. Don't worry about me. This place is nice. I'll be glad. Now you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself, no? Why don't we start cleaning and then you decide whether or not you can do it all night? I'll finish up here in the meantime. Could you please clear the table? Okay. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make a bed? Bedroom? I really like this music. It feels comforting. Make the bed. It's done. While you're there, why don't you straighten that rug out a bit? Yeah. All the little details matter. Interesting. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it so much as I need it. When I'm working, I feel kind of a calm that rests in my ribcage. My soul can just be soothed any other way, it seems. Which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? Yeah. You're nice. I like you. But it looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there? Yeah, I'll help. I feel compared to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Yeah, do it. This is comforting in a way. Make it especially cheesy. This is still him talking to himself. No, it was stupid. Sorry, never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Sure, I'll help. I don't know why I'm doing it. Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? Need to be perfect. No need to be perfect. We're all just human. That's clean. Are there still books scattered on the floor in the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Perfect. Nothing. How about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing.
In a
It's
way.
the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Darling, let me tell you something. Your house is only as difficult to clean as you are. If you're finding the work hard, maybe you have a bit of housekeeping to do before you come to work. Ha! And here I go with another lecture. Of course I would.
I know
Don't you worry about all that nonsense. We're not just smooth out the rug in the bedroom.
This was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Would you mind tidying up? Yeah, no problem. Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. There is a bit of truth in it. Sorry, we're going to have to activate the demon for a sec. There's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thank you. This is... I don't know why, but I do kind of feel compelled to do this. Just, you know? Oh goodness, the pillows over there on the couch are a real mess. Would you go over and straighten them up a bit? Can't have these folks coming home to a messy couch. I'm kind of glad he made this too. This is... just nice. Question.
But,
do you
of
enjoy
course,
this?
It can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
The windows are gone. There's... Wow. Wow. Okay. This is really interesting. I'm actually... You can't stay in the dark space for too long. You have to keep pushing forward. It's the only way to stay alive. I like that. And there's the lamppost, our destination.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
There's no going
I
back.
really thought that was the point of it. This one
Items you
gets
love
a
at
bit
members-only
goofy.
prices. Okay, so this one's gonna be goofy? Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No! You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look around at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know, who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. Another question is, how do we do it? But how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It's so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being
the
perfect is
perspective
effortless.
and you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
You know, these are thoughts that I've actually had. Where I've thought to myself, and have been to people where I'm like, how do I become as complete feeling as they are? I've had that thought more than once. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. I'm just going to go with one. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Can we pick the other answers? I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being a wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. So these other colored answers that you can pick are his fears? If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right? No, that's not true. You have to fucking fight and figure out what it is that you want. I'm gonna hit 3 and then we're gonna awaken the demon. Hang on. Okay. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. You understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Seek out the only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Seek out the only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? I don't know. Seek out the only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? And immediately the first response is, haha, just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth. There is no path. I don't know how I feel about this one. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Holy shit, you guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out! I like this, but I'm not quite following it. You know what I mean? Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Nothing. No one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy everyone. Run, run!
I felt pretty hard for this one.
Perfection.
I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
I mean, yeah.
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
I like that concept, though.
I think about this game a lot these days.
It's hard to not, like, it's hard to look at yourself.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this. And it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Okay. Kind of looks like he's back to the old assets that he was using before he developed the one cleaning game. A narrow hallway. A music chest or like just a thing. God. All right, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, to start out leaning against the wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super, super scared right now. No, 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 that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment. But I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. Happy, wise, successful, focused. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? We're just going to go with the first one. You're messing it all up again. You'll figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. A lamppost? Or here? A lamppost? Is this where you want me to go? It's so pretty. The lighting? Do you want me to keep going? Ah! Oh, no. Is the fucking prison back? Okay, yes, this is working. Now, this is what it was like.
Ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of
That's
having
perfect.
to
Wonderful. This is
perform
really
and
wonderful.
having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where
great.
it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. What's going on? Captain, what do we do? Help, I'm blind! Something enormous has appeared on the transport. I can't die like this. I can't die like this. Help, I'm blind! There's a giant door and then my vision went blank. Oh, you can't see anything either. Please, someone talk to me. Am I going to be killed by a giant door? Oh, God. Hope I can't see anything.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
There was a giant door and then my vision went blank. Please don't let this be forever. I had to fucking turn on the demon. The SS Whisper. Oh! What does that say? Truth. Ah. Damn it! The only way to stop is to speak something that is honest. I am bursting with creative energy. I can't keep making these. My work is always fun. Help, I'm blind. My work is creative. The way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. It changed it to help, I'm blind.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Yeah. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Just keep going, keep talking. I can't figure out how to say the thing. Oh, I get the feeling that's the one. You're doing it, it's working. I'm gonna say I'm alone. We're going to be okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Wow. I feel bad for this guy. Hello? Oh, this is... The music shift. Where did this island come from? Oh, the music's fucking... Is that a person? How lovely! It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. I'm not going to say that I haven't been there before, but I might have been. Oh no! What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it. I need to know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but there's a problem.
The last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations. This one turns it up.
Help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal?
Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Man, I mean, does it have to be for something? You know, like, I'm just gonna hit 3. Huh, deal. That's not what I said. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. Yeah. He was in his own little bubble, games, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Here's the puzzle. What do you think? I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. This space is different. It's a gray space instead of a black space. All right, what's next? Now just press the switch here. Sorry, I have to keep activating the demon. I'm sorry. Ha, that was so simple. I can't believe I never solved it before this.
Loneliness.
No.
It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
He's not wrong. I mean, you need people. Let's see, you know what? Trying to find the sentence to protect me. Just start it again. Okay, here we are. There's crying in the background. There's no machine here. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, that you love it 100% of the time. Sure, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did the wall just crumble? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. It's forcing positivity, which does not help. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic. My work is easy, it never stops me. 1. Yes, there is this world stamped with whiteness. Press the switch there. I get it, it's just a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Hey, it's me and you. After you escape the prison.
I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. You just never stop creating, and you'll never feel bad. Sure, making games is easy. What if I'm not a good teacher? Help, I'm blind.
This is
there are
someone
other ways
I really
in and out.
about.
How about a
and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
None of this is helping. Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. You can't force what you don't love anymore.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Thanks, hon, for the bits. There was somebody crying in there.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
The Machine. This is sad. Guard. Sorry I'm not talking much after that. It struck a chord with me. There was a point in my life where I felt like I had to force positivity to be happy all the time, and that's not the answer. I'm just going to tell you that, guys, right now. Guard. Ma'am, glad to see you arrive safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. The door puzzle's gone. The press. There's so much happening. It's almost like he feels smothered by people who are trying to help. That being alone...
And of course, it's the machine.
It's like... God, this... Oh my God, this is striking some shit with me. Because there's been moments in my life where I've not felt like I've belonged. And when I've tried to fix that problem, it still didn't feel like the right answer. You stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. You stopped feeding us. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It's only because your creations that any of us can make it through every day. How could us go back to trusting you to do this job? We're gonna go with the first answer. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go out and apologize to them. You have to admit to people that you've allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. No, nothing. We're gonna... Alright, then I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. The machine will not apologize to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show that we are not failures, too. I want to do uplifting. Follow me, we'll destroy this machine. Follow me, we'll destroy everything that the machine... Oh, God! Those answers, either of them. Would you rather yourself die or everything about you be forgotten is basically what it's saying. I guess we'll just have to destroy the machine. back at the theater. It is said that there are 2 deaths. One when you actually die, and one when someone says your name for the last time.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
I'll make sure your work dies here.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I don't like doing this. Don't get me wrong, I'm not always proud of the things that I've worked on, but I would never destroy them.
So I started showing Coda's
You know
work
what I
to
mean?
people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Yeah. Except himself. The lamppost and the engine. Put down your weapon. I don't wanna.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy.
But it's not about
so
you.
Beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
It's the tower.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I mean, this long hallway, just this tunneling experience here. See, the thing is that this person, I can relate to them in a way. And I don't know, it's not about other people liking what you've done. I feel like this is about not being able to create something perfect.
This room
and it kills them.
Has a maze in it.
You know what I mean?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Okay. This is dark.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate.
Oh, shit.
What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
I don't think there is an idea. I think it's just meant to be difficult because he hates what he's doing. You know what I mean?
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
617. Yeah, this just feels frustrated. This doesn't feel sad. This feels frustrated and alone. Like, oh, you want to continue? It fucking sucks for you. You know what I mean? This just feels mad. Because there's no hints, there's no nothing. This is... It's gonna sound weird, but this kind of feels like raw emotion.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
You don't have to fix the problem.
I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
I mean...
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
This just feels like the narrator, Dave, is just trying to fix what isn't necessarily...
I just felt so strongly that if I could have
I don't
connected
know.
with him, that if I could have somehow made
It's
his
so
work my own, that I would
complex.
finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
But once you start looking within instead of looking outside, it's when you start to gain more of a sense of self. It's just how it is.
Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
It became a toxic friendship. I don't know if you guys read that. I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You've so infected my personal space
And
that it's possible.
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Was it him who added the lampposts, the destinations? Or is he saying that he poisoned the well, so to speak, to make him add destinations?
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks, and that you make peace with this thing you're wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
I've been that person.
More.
And
more love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Like, I'll talk about it once I finish. There's a bit of this that I feel a lot about. I was assuming the red door would open.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
It's like there was some point that he realized it stopped being
Even
about
now,
his friend and
the
more
disease
about
is
himself.
telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
I kind of don't have words. It's kind of hitting me on different levels. Because I can kind of relate to this a lot. I'll talk about it here in a minute. Because there's a lot of times, like with the music that I do, I don't feel like I contribute nearly as much as I feel like I do. And you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like because I can be a pushy person when it comes to things that I'm passionate about, I show off like the music. Like, for example, I've showed it off to coworkers and like they hear my vocal lines and they're like, dude, that's you? And I'm like, yeah. But like I try to make sure that like listen, I'm not the one playing the instruments, which are honestly the more important factor. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there's kind of a lot going on in my head here, and I don't know. There's a lot. I kind of feel like I stopped doing a lot with music and being creative in that because maybe I don't know, you know, like maybe something kind of just clicked in me that I'm not good, or that, you know, there's a lot that I think about, a lot that I don't really talk about. Or how maybe there's a possibility that I never entertained the fact until I played this that maybe I fucked something up with the stuff with Limit Break or Atlas's Burden, or you know what I mean? I don't know, it's this is a very, this makes you, this game, or rather this experience, kind of makes you reflect on yourself and kind of the things that you're not very happy about that you've done. And this is you sacrificing yourself for the sake of others. Which, in its own right, in this particular context, kind of feels selfish. Because it's the same thing again. It wasn't for them, this was for you. There's this... This goes back to the lyric of maybe, or no one ever entertains the fact that God doesn't believe in you. That particular lyric, this makes you think a lot about the things that you may have done, where in the situations that you don't ever want to portray yourself as a bad guy, but somewhere along the line you are going to be the bad guy in someone's story. And it's gonna hurt. And sometimes you're going to be the bad guy in a story that you feel like you're the most important part of, or it is the most important part of you. And it sucks, because this... Because it makes you... You know what I mean? Like... It just shows you that not everything is going to work out the way that you want. And it's okay to fall out of love with things, or understand that there's a lot on my mind with that experience. There's absolutely lots of raw emotion, and like I was saying, you're going to be the bad guy in somebody's story, and that this game kind of reflects a lot of. And I'm kind of, I don't know, it makes me kind of think like, have I already, I'm sure I've already had this happen to me once before, where I was the bad guy in some situation. I don't know, it just, no matter what, you're always, it's just how it is, and it sucks. But you just hope that it's not to an important part of your life. That's what I was trying to say earlier. And God damn. Whew, that was a lot. Wow. I'm not the only one that kind of sees this, right? Like, there's so many different elements, and we're only seeing it from one perspective. We never got to see Coda's actual side. Excuse me. I'm curious to know if this is, like, I don't know if this is, like, based on a true story, or I'm going to have to do some research now. Because, fuck. That was kind of incredible. Yeah, it absolutely does. And god damn, it served its purpose. But I really hope that this is just kind of something that was a fictitious story just for this person's sake, just for Davy's sake. Because, God. And if it's not, that's okay. It's just how life works. It's just... Wow. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I worry about, like... And this is just making me reflect on them now, and... I don't know. Like, this just makes me feel like... I don't know. It's a lot. I don't want to get into it. Because it's not like I have formulated thoughts. They're just random blips that happen every now and again. And, you know what I mean? From what you see on Google, this is a very possible... It's possibly real. Fuck. Man. They're delving deeper into the article. Coda is fictitious. Okay. It's kind of like how Whiplash is based on true events, but it's not the actual story. I'm going to assume. I'll have to look into it, but I just want to say, guys, thank you for being here. There's days where I feel like I'm not good enough at the things that I do. And seeing people here every day kind of makes me feel better about it, and it's been good for me, honestly. You guys being here, it's selfish, because you know what I mean. It's not that I look at you guys to reflect on my own happiness. It just makes me feel like I'm swinging in the right direction. It's not that I need people here to, you know what I mean. That's not. I know what my goals are. And this game is just making me feel sad. You know what I mean? It's based on Davy's depression. The base of the game is real, but the characters are fictitious, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes a little sense. Like, this just kind of makes me reflect to, like, when I was angry all the time. And it makes me kind of think, like, was I the bad guy in someone's story at that time? And you'll never know, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's friendships that you lose. There's friendships that you gain. It's fucking crazy just how we live. And I don't know. It's going to get philosophical and existential really quick if I keep talking here. So I'm just going to go ahead and go. But thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to me. If you like what you saw, you can always, you know, follow my Discord and check out my YouTube channel, Alex Guy Thing. There's also my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Twitter. They're all Alex Guy Thing. You can always check out my band, which I need to go talk to my bandmate now because I kind of feel bad because I know there's been moments where I've pissed him off, and I'm sure he's pissed me off, and I don't know. Makes me feel like I need to reconnect with him more as a friend and less of a bandmate or a business partner, or you know what I mean. There's a lot there that I don't know. This makes me feel like I need to reconnect with him and see how everything's doing. But speaking of bandmates and Broccoli Bomber Studios, you can check out Broccoli Bomber Studios on YouTube. There's tons of stuff there with him, my bandmate. And speaking of my bandmate, we have a video game cover band called Limit Break that's everywhere. Yeah. I don't know. You can search for it if you want. Oh my god, this is also hitting that because like I know that I'm gonna go into a rant. I'm sorry. I know that my bandmate is a better composer than me and can write things more effectively than me, and sometimes I don't feel like I contribute enough, and it's just I don't know. That's where my brain is going and the similarities between what I do. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels bad because like when I show something off, it doesn't always feel like it's mine. I don't know. Ugh. Either way. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and just look for someone to raid. Before I get too sad and too talkative. Let's see who's playing. I get the feeling that Noise is going to have a more positive and upbeat stream, and that things will be a little more reinforced with positivity there. So, Noise is a great streamer. And, yeah, we should go over there and lend some support. It's also my 4-month sub anniversary to them. They're playing Valheim, which they love a lot. So, let's go over there. I just want to say, when I say, you know, do something good for yourself, and I go into my spiel and all that shit, it isn't me trying to find success in what you do. It's me wanting to see you succeed, but I'll never take that as credit of my own. I don't know. I feel like I have the need to say that. I just like it when I see people succeed because this just takes me to past stuff. And I realize that I'm much better than I was a few years ago. And I don't know. I'm glad to not be just this angry person all the time anymore. And I'm actually calm and kind of know myself a little better. It's hard because I've been in those shoes as Davy's perspective and as well as Coda's perspective of not knowing how to be complete. And once you accept the fact that you may never be complete and that you just have to be you, for better or worse, unapologetically you, is when my life started to get a little bit better. I don't know. But I'm going to hop off of here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and roll the credits and then get that stream set up. As always, do great things for yourself. Not for me. Not for somebody else. Just yourself. You might get to learn something about yourself that way too. You know, it doesn't matter the goal, what you have. If it's a small thing, do it. You may start to reflect on yourself like this story did. And I never get to be this like in depth with it. But that's, you know, you'll learn something about yourself along the way. it doesn't matter what, as long as you drive yourself to do something. At least in my experience. You know, I don't know anybody else's experience, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go there. I love you guys very much. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. I believe we are doing a community night. I think Reaper is trying to set up something, and I'd like to see you guys there. But until then, enjoy Noise's stream. Have a good time. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you very soon. So until then, take care.